is a mouthful. Like last time, if you're not speaking, please remember to mute. Like I said, we'll try to keep up with any text questions and whatnot. But this is our chance to, share progress with you and updates on the mobile app. And it's a chance for you to get to know our names and our voices, and an opportunity for us to listen to your feedback and hopefully answer any questions you may have. Hey, welcome, Lance. With that, I think Lindens and friends, let's do quick intros just since this is only our second meeting and I want people to get to know us. I don't know if Grumpy has voice or not, so I'll go first. Hi, I'm Bridie Linden. I'm
Yeah,
your.
does Grumpy have voice?
Oh, Grumpy has voice. Then I'll pass the mic
Right.
to you, Grumpy. Quick
Yeah.
intro.
Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you.
No, you're good. Good.
Hi.
Just say hi.
Yes, I'm Grumpy Linden. I head up product and engineering at Linden. And Bridie, I pass the mic back to you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no sweat. Yeah, as I was saying, I am your friendly neighborhood PM. So all the P's: product, program, project manager for all things mobile. So when I'm not chatting with you here, you might catch me in Discord. You might see me show up in the feedback portal. And then the rest of the time, I'm working with the team to bring you new fixes and features and all the goodness that we've been able to develop in the last year plus. I'll pass the mic to Adam.
Thank you. So I'm Adam. I'm the application development lead for Second Life Mobile. So quite a lot of the work sort of ends up on my desk at some point or another. And who else are we going to pass the mic to? Pluto.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Pluto Linden. I'm the UX designer for the mobile team. So I am, as you might imagine, the one responsible for trying to make the user experience as good as it can possibly be. And we have some updates in that department that we'll share later. But yeah, good to see you all. This is great.
And I think we have a beanie.
It's me. Hi, I'm Bridie Linden. I'm a mobile QA engineer, and I make sure that my team produces a quality product. Back to you, Bridie.
Obviously can't type and get to my speak button quick enough. Yeah, so we are happy to be here with you guys. And let me just share with you some progress we've made since we last spoke. I think it was just after we met, actually, that we shipped an update and it had a few good new features and some fixes. So now from the app, you can actually create a brand new account. I'll go through the full join flow, pick your avatar, everything, and not have to go to a browser to create an account. So that might be one reason we're seeing lots of new folks join us here in Camp Woods Forest. It's pretty exciting. We also made it possible for you to request that your account be deleted. Of course, we don't want you to go, but that feature is there. That request is there if you should need it. We also made some updates to group notice notifications formatting. You may or may not have noticed that. I encourage you all to enable notifications if you haven't already. And then one more fix that's a little bit hidden. Maybe Adam, you want to speak to this one. It's a feature in the development tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So one of the features one of the things I talked about last time was the sort of challenges of rebuilding the avatar system and all the various little quirks and oddball things that we have to handle. One of them after our last meeting I implemented was something that handles bone attachments a little bit better. So these are the attachments, the bones that are driven by attachment points specifically. And I noticed that we were handling them a little bit wrong. So I implemented a new setting in the developer tools. These are hidden, well, not hidden, but they're certainly hard to find. So if you go into settings and then developer tools, there's a whole lot of little things there. But there's one called bone attachment point handling. Now we've got it turned off right now by default, but I'm very keen to see if we can turn that on. So one of the things that I would really love to get some feedback from people is, if you go into the developer settings, you go to the bone attachment point handling, and you turn it on and restart the app, that means swipe it up and log back in. I would love to hear if that improves or degrades your and other avatars. And if it does improve things, I'd like to make the change to swap the default. But I want to hear a little bit of feedback before we do there, because as with many avatar related things, we fix one thing and we break two others. So it's important we get quite a lot of feedback before we change those defaults. So that's it. Hopefully it helps.
Yep. Thank you, Adam. I hope everyone knows how to get to those features. So from the menu in the mobile app, then you go to settings, then to developer tools, and there's a whole host of other things you can play with. But yeah, be a little careful. But we would love some feedback on that specific one. Yeah, thanks, Ruby. Cool. Other things that are on our roadmap really haven't changed. So I guess the maybe change is that they're in progress. So things that we mentioned when we last met, improving or creating an address bar so you can get around. Yeah, thanks, Adam. So you can get around in world much easier, and you can do things like add a favorite. That's in progress.
And access your landmarks. Yeah.
Oh, yes, 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 in landmarks. And we're adding the ability to share slurls with folks so we can bring people into wherever you're hanging out and have them enjoy and learn about Second Life. And then also on the dance card is quicker access to chat so you don't have to go several menus deep. And then improving in-world actions. I know that's something that we have seen a fair number of comments on, either being challenging to find, it's a long press to do interactions in the app, or maybe things not working quite as expected just yet. So yeah, I mean, onward. Next up, if there's no questions, yeah, I do want to talk about lobby. I might ask that we wait on lobby and talk about login rewards. I'm switching up the order just a little bit. Grumpy, would you mind talking about login rewards, maybe sharing and asking the group?
Yeah. I think those of you who are subscribers have been hopefully enjoying the login rewards. And we have been enjoying the login rewards. I'll be honest, I find myself logging in just to get those few Linden dollars and not let them go. It's kind of fun. Wanted to get a general sense of how people are feeling about it, whether you're enjoying it. We thought it was kind of a cool bonus for our subscribers. And so, yeah, if you think it's a terrible idea, you should totally tell me. And if you think we're doing an amazing job and signed up for premium just so you could get the login rewards, I definitely want to hear about it.
I'm a little late coming to the login
Oh,
rewards,
that's nice.
but I loved it. And I'm only like on about day 9 or something, but I brought my alts along too, so that helps.
Yeah, awesome.
Do they end at the end of the month, or will they keep going?
There is no promise of how long they will keep going, but they're not ending at the end of the month.
Awesome.
And in fact, there may be some other cool things happening with logins come March, but we're just not quite ready to announce it yet.
It's March in 17 hours here. You can just whisper in my ear.
Yeah, if you're also want to see what other people have said about login rewards and streaks, there was quite a lengthy forum post about it.
Really gonna hijack the mobile meeting to point out that there is also one more day to be part of the drawing for a new PC. As long as you're a subscriber in February, then you are eligible for the drawing. So
And you're sure that employees are not allowed to participate in that, Bridie?
pretty certain employees, relatives, all the usual things.
Okay.
Not
Fine.
allowed, no.
Fine.
And I know who your alts are, Bridie.
Okay, fine. Not all of them have tester in the name, just by the by. Cool. I do enjoy the login rewards, and glad that it seems that some of you are. Somebody in here, sorry, went past it a little quickly. You were surprised by it, excited to go, but just kind of found it kind of, eh. One thing I heard was that it's nice that you can, if you don't want to see the streaks or login rewards in your face every day, you can disable that. Hmm. I see. All right. Well, I'll pause us on that conversation. Thanks, Grumpy, for leading that. And take us back to Lobby, which I'm so happy to announce, like so hot off the presses. We just released our alpha apps today. For those of you who are OGs and part of the alpha program, you could be playing with it right now. And Daniel already posted a blog post about that. I'll just link it in here so you can see screenshots if you haven't seen it in action just yet. But I'll pass the mic to Pluto if you want to talk about it further. And Credo 41, I think you have an open mic. Thank you.
I'm happy to talk about it. We are very excited about this first version of the lobby feature. This will, I think, make a big difference in the experience of running the app, either as a first-time user or a long-time resident coming in and not having to watch the load screen for 10 seconds, and instead getting to use that time to see what's going on, see who's online, see what messages have come in. This should really help those first crucial seconds or minutes while using the app. So I encourage everybody to try it out and share your feedback, file cannies, ideas for what it can be. I think at this stage we have taken the things that we can put there and added them in, but we also realize that it's a great place to surface other kinds of content and also information about the progress we're making on the development of the mobile app going forward. So look for more to come, and also know that this first version, you will be arriving in world while the lobby is on screen, and there's a button to go into the world view from there. Two notes just for everyone to think about and to give their thoughts on. One is that our eventual plan is to make it so that you can actually enter the lobby without going in world and respond to messages and not be physically anywhere yet. That is where we want to get with this, so that it could be a lightweight way to use the app. If it doesn't necessarily run the view of the world for you, you could still get in, see what's going on, respond to messages, group chat, see group notices. So that's where we want to get with it. And anyway, there's more to be said there, but we really hope that will one day be part of the experience. It's just that for the time being, we've done the best version we can with the time we have, and we'll iterate and improve it as we go forward. I also wanted to just back up and say a tiny bit more about some of the features that are coming very soon on early in March, we hope, or mid-March. As Bridie alluded to, the address bar work, that's very exciting. The two features that I think I wanted to put a little bit more emphasis on are, we are trying actively, we've heard your feedback, and we're trying to improve the way that we interact with things in world. Giving feedback on long press is one of the things that we thought we could do quickly, and so that's coming soon. So you'll actually see under your finger the timer, so that you know you have to long press for a moment. in order to trigger something instead of just kind of blindly discovering that if you long press long enough, it'll show up. That's one of the things. And then quicker access to chat is kind of a baby step to eventually showing chat on the scene view, that your world view, and not having to go into the menu constantly to see and respond to chat messages. We haven't got all of that worked out yet, how we're going to do it, but at least what we can do in the meantime, and what we are doing, is putting a button on your view of the world that lets you jump to see that you've got new messages and go directly to them from that button. So that is also coming very soon, with the eventual plan to make a more full-fledged view of chat in world. So anyway, those are the things that we are feverishly working on, and Lobby, as Bridie said, is just out the door. So check it out. Thanks.
Quick question, if I may, on Lavi.
Please.
I log in from regular viewer more than I log in from the phone. So I log in from the phone, I go to lobby. Where will my avatar appear next time I log into the regular viewer? Will it be at its last place, or will it have gotten moved somewhere?
It should be at the last location, and you should still continue to see on the sign-in screen on the mobile app the location that you're going to be connecting to. That should be accurate, and it usually, if you haven't specified, it's usually last location, so that's where it will attempt to go.
Thank you.
Sure.
There was also a question that went by in the nearby chat. Nick, you were asking, can we then half log in, like that you're logged into the lobby and onto your
I would love that. Thank you for the question, Nix. I think that's a fantastic idea, and Philip shares this opinion. We have thought a lot about how the mobile app can, of course, be a way to access the world when you're on the go, but it also should be something eventually that you can use as an adjunct while logged in on desktop. You might still find that the interface for chatting on your phone is preferable, and we have a lot to figure out to make that possible, but I think that that's aligned with where we want to go.
Yeah, did I miss any other questions that went by in chat?
There was the comment about accessing on older devices, and actually there is something relevant with lobby that's worth mentioning here. So when you're in the lobby mode, we actually we download things like textures and meshes, but we don't actually load them until you get out of the lobby. And that means that if you've got a device that's a little bit older or has trouble with the Second Life mobile viewer, then the lobby will still let you access chat and things like that without the same system requirements. So that will be something that will help with some of those older devices. And it also, we've got things sort of set up so that when you do go in world, things should load a little bit faster once that process starts.
It's actually just, it's okay, Pluto. Yeah, almost. We just have it available to alpha users right now.
I was not aware of that, so sorry for the
That's okay, and
incorrect
maybe
response.
No, that's fine. And maybe that's a good moment to either inform or remind all of us that we actually have multiple apps that are in play, and yeah, they're completely separate. So there's an alpha app that people who are part of the alpha program that we started over a year ago can download the alpha, but you have to be part of that program, versus the production or release app that's available via the App Store. So they are distinct, and we have rewards, the login rewards limited in the alpha app. So there was some confusion over that. But right now, yeah, alpha is ahead, and we're using it for what we had hoped to, which is give you guys an early look at some of the features and help us take a look at things. Yeah, and we're moving pretty quickly around here, so we do our best to stay on the same page. But sometimes we actually have to remind each other and speak. Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Inara. Adam, I think I'm going to pass the mic back to you to talk more about texture loading. And I think there were some more questions about loading of
Yeah,
avatars and whatnot. So yeah, please.
funnily enough, there's a comment there about avatars appearing as outlines. Yeah, this is something that I think Philip has mentioned to me a few times, and certainly we know that it's an issue that affects quite a few users. Is the fact that your avatar may take a while to download, it may never actually load. And one of the reasons is something I talked about last meeting was about the severe memory limitations we've got to work with. We sort of have to get the entire rendering pipeline down into, roughly speaking, 500 to 800 meg of RAM at most, even on the high-end devices. So one of the things we did very early on with the mobile project was we'll get it running and we'll get it looking roughly correct, and then we'll focus on sort of optimizing things a little bit later. So one of the things we didn't optimize was the resolution of textures that we load. So we sort of use a universal amount. We actually use two, one for avatars and one for everything else. But broadly speaking, it's not very precise, and that means that a big object might be rendering with the same resolution as, say, a small fingernail. So one of the changes that I've been working on at the moment over the last week, in between Lobby and a few other things, has been finally implementing variable size textures. Now that doesn't sound terribly exciting, but one of the things it is letting us do is it's letting us refresh avatars and things that have already loaded, and actually it will mean that those problems begin to go away. We will have both more capacity available for loading important objects, and we'll be able to prioritize and reprioritize assets in a way that the app currently can't do. So that will hopefully help things going forward. It will also be a precursor to us implementing some things that are going to use more memory than we currently have the memory budget for. PBR is the big one on there. Doing a full PBR render means we're using at least 2, if not 3 or 4 times as much memory. So this is one of those things that we've really got to get right before we can actually switch that on without the application crashing all the time. And that's really been one of the big reasons that we don't do this by default and we don't use too much RAM, is that the operating systems really will just kill the app midway through you using it, which is obviously a terrible user experience. Next, one thing you might be able to do is turn down the draw distance. Your avatar should be prioritized regardless of background scenery, so that might be something that does help. We've made a couple of tweaks to some of the defaults as well. It's not going to be in the next update with Lobby, but it will be in the one after that. So there may also be some other improvements coming down the pipeline as well. Prioritizing friends, that's a good question. That might be something to throw into the feedback portal, because it would be a relatively easy thing to do, I think. Cool. Bridie, do you want to pick back up?
Sorry, I was just I was thinking about other issues, and then I started to read Ruby's question about Lobby. But before we move on to answer that, you want to talk about culling at all, Adam? Maybe briefly.
In terms of culling distances, or
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is something that we are changing in the next releases. Is we are making some tweaks to the cullings based on your devices. Some of our settings are a little bit pessimistic. We have a fairly uniform set of things like culling distances and so forth that are fixed across all devices. In one of the coming updates, that'll also be varying based on your device. So if you've got a newer phone or a higher end phone, those will begin to show more content. And for ones that are a little bit weaker on the specifications, those will be a little bit more optimized so that we can get more things loaded. When I mentioned the issue with texture loading, that will also mean that avatars that move closer to you and further away will load and unload, whereas currently they don't do that right now.
Cool, thank you. And Ruby, I attempted to answer your question there, and Pluto, feel free to jump in if there's anything to add. But Ruby, I'm wondering, is there a question in your question? Like, are you wondering if we're going to have a lot of people just standing around at Camp Witch while they look at their lobby? Yeah.
Um, we, I believe we might mention too that we are in the process or contemplating moving a clone of Camp Witch. Bradley, did you want to
Yep.
talk about that at all?
Yeah, I mean, basically what you've just shared that because we're getting more new users coming into this initial Camp Witch location, we are going to clone it and so spread people out a little bit more. But I'm just reading what Yutiko is saying. Yeah, so yeah, they'll see their lobby, uh, and they will be logged in to one of the Camp Witches. Will anyone know that they're not seeing? Hmm.
We actually got told at the land meeting that
Hmm?
it wasn't going to be a copy, that it was going to actually be a new location because of the complaints from the residents in Bellis area around this location.
It will be a clone, and I think we can move it away for new users. Um, I can triple check that after we get off this call.
Right. They just said that
Hmm.
people that were already home default here would still
Uh-huh.
land here, but
Right,
anybody new would land in the new location.
that's right.
Okay, awesome.
Yep,
Just wanted to
yep,
clarify.
yeah, yeah,
How
yeah,
will mentors get to the new location?
It would just be another location.
yeah.
It's not restricted. It's just
No,
you
no,
have
no.
to know where it is.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
By clone, I think they just meant that it looks like this one.
Yeah,
Amy?
sorry. Yeah, that's what, yeah. Words are hard.
Pretty. It's pretty.
It's pretty. It looks just like here, but it looks the same, but is different. Yes. Yeah, thank you for helping clarify. Um, okay, I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. We've talked about, the progress we've made, the progress we're making, but I thought maybe it would be useful because those of us that are in mobile every day and have been using it all along know about all of these features that may not be completely obvious. So I was going to ask Beanie to just share some more sort of tips and tricks and of features that probably have been there maybe since the start, at least for a while, and just make sure that everyone's aware of these things. So Beanie, take it away.
Sure. The first feature I would like to talk about is the profile tray. Profile tray allows you to uh, review your balance, your living dollar balance, and also check your membership. So in order to access that, you would need to tap on the menu. And then when you see your username at the very top with a little drop down arrow, if you tap on that, then profile tray will slide down where you can see your username, your membership status, and your Linden dollar amount. If you pay to a person through a mobile app or to an object, you will see that your Linden dollar amount will be updated. That's how you can verify that the payment was successfully sent. Um, pretty low voice.
Yeah, Beanie, you're a little quiet. I don't know if you want to come to the center or if folks on
Oh,
desktop can actually turn you
sorry.
up more.
Oh, that's weird because I hear you super loud and clear. Is this any better?
A little bit better.
Um, okay. Any questions on the profile tray? Yeah, just maybe zoom into me. Okay, I'm gonna proceed to next feature is how to file a bug. Through the mobile app. If you encounter any, I feel like I'm super good at catching all the bugs, but I cannot catch them all, and it will be very helpful if you guys help me and report all the bugs you find or suggest any features through the mobile app. In order to do so, you need to go to the menu, settings. Oh no, you know what? We just moved it, and I keep going to the old path. Menu, and then tap on help, and then you gotta tap on give feedback or file a bug. That will bring you to the very short and sweet form you can fill up and submit the report. Um, also, If you have any troubles logging in or while teleporting, you can find a gear icon at the top right corner. So when you click on that, you will also be able to send bug report from the screen you're on. Another thing I wanted to talk about is abuse reports. Abuse reports could be sent on mobile in many ways. The first way, if you are in World and you see a person in front of you, you can simply, and if the person is uh, stale, you can long press on that avatar. Um, I would say target mostly to the lower part of the body to bring the context menu. On the context menu, you will see a few options. Among them, you will see report abuse, which will also bring you to a short form where you can fill up and send it to us. Another way, trying to read your questions. Another way, let's say someone sent you some offensive message and you don't see avatar in world. In every chat you see, whether it's nearby chat, DM, or group chat, next to the person's username, you will see three dots. And these three dots, by tapping on that, you will be able to bring up the context menu, which will allow you to also select report abuse and send the form to us. Another way, you can also bring up the that first, if it's, let's say, someone from your people's list. If you see the person in nearby people list or recent, if you spoke to that person and you would like to report abuse, you can also go to people, select recent, and then from there you can view that person profile. And by tapping on more, it will again once more bring the same context menu where you can report the abuse from there. Any questions on that? Yes.
I'll just add on that the bug reports that come from the app contain a lot of extra info for us. So if you're encountering something very peculiar with your avatar, we're going to request that you send that to us anyway, even if you've reported it in the feedback portal.
How do you take a screenshot? You don't. It's you just need to basically describe the issue and send, and everything will be sent there. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is the location tray. I don't know if you guys know or not that you can actually enable streaming audio within the app by tapping on the locations tray. So if you tap on the menu and then tap on the location at the bottom, the tray will slide up slightly and then it will tell you the status of the streaming audio. Usually by default it's off. Then you can enable it and use the glider to make it more loud or quiet. And of course, this feature can be used in regions where the streaming audio is enabled. And I don't know if Bridie wants me to invite you to streaming audio region where we can test that.
I think maybe we could do a field trip when we wrap up here. That might be fun. And make sure, this is something I've done, make sure you don't have your device hardware muted.
It's muted. It's very important to remember.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool. Well, thanks, Beanie. I hope you all enjoyed that and learned maybe something new that has been there but is not so new. Awesome. I was going to shift gears now and either, let's see, let's take a look at what's in the feedback portal, and the floor is open if there are specific issues you guys want to bring up. I was going to take a look at what's at the top of the accepted backlog. I don't know that there's been a lot of movement since we last met, but maybe this is a chance to discuss, or if there's ones you want to get upvotes on. I mean, we are paying attention to this. I hope you have the same view as I do. So you should see, I see at the top if you're sorted by votes. I see that the touch objects is at the top with 56 votes. Can somebody confirm for me that you're able to see that? The link I just plonked in the nearby chat, that is. Oh shoot, Teresa. Oh, is that an admin one? Oh, hang on a second. Let me get the public version. I'm sorry. Oh, right. There's just, darn it. Well, I can share these one by one then. One moment. One moment. Votes. That guy. And copy. There we go. Well, this is the one that is at the top of the list. I'll just paste in a few of these and we can talk about them, or if there are other ones we want to talk about, we can move on. Yeah, so this one has been in here for a while, and I mentioned the improvements that are coming, and Pluto added to more of what we have planned there. 56 votes is what I see currently. So upvote it or comment on it if you want to. It is definitely on our list. Any more to say about that one? I think we might have the next one I have. Let me grab the link. Oops. Geez, please not that. I can right click. Okay, another one you can choose to upvote if you want. I think, Pluto, remind me, I think we talked about this one last time as well. Allow closing / muting a group chat.
Yeah. So this is a great feature, but it is fairly complex because we want to make this possible for any chat conversation that you have. It should be possible to mute it. But we also know that group chat can be noisy and you don't want it to go away forever necessarily. So our assumption is that a feature like this, in order to really work as I think, in the best possible way to serve the intention of, keeping the noise level down, would be to say, mute this for X number of hours, or for the entire day. And so it's a little bit more complex. It's definitely on our radar, and you can see it's got a lot of upvotes, but it is sadly not something that we can do super quickly. But we are thinking about how we can do that.
Yep. Yeah, good point, Nix. Cool. Thank you, Pluto. On to the next one. I'll just do the top 5 and then we can look at what else is hanging about in the portal. Let's see. This one is the request for HUDs. Ooh, who wants to say why this one is challenging? Adam or Pluto?
I suspect. Why do we could probably both handle this one. Let's put it this way. We actually do render HUDs, but we don't render them. That is to say that we've got the objects there in the scene. We're just sort of hiding them at the moment. One of the earlier versions of the app actually had them, and they sort of floated around your avatar versus on the screen. But in terms of why we don't have HUDs, well, there's a couple of reasons. One is obviously the difficulty of adapting things for a mobile form factor. Many HUDs are designed for a desktop, which has got probably either a 16:9 or a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is quite different from what you've got on mobile. So a simple, naive, just put them on the screen doesn't really work. Pluto has come up with a whole bunch of designs, and Steeltoe have come up with designs for how this should work. But let me sort of lead into that by saying that when we started looking at how we would implement HUDs, they both put together a presentation showing just all the different ways that HUDs can possibly work. The ones using things like media on a prim and putting 3D objects on the scene. And we suddenly realized this was a whole lot more work than we thought it was going to be. So with that said, and that introduction, Pluto, I think you might have some comments here as well.
Oh, I think you summed it up pretty well. I don't think that we are saying we aren't going to do them. I think we just have to find a path to doing them with the amount of time that we have and resources we can allocate. And so I think uh, one baby step in that direction is to start with LL dialogues because a great many scripted things rely on LL dialogues, and there's a lot we can do that is easier, although not easy, than HUDs to start laying the groundwork for how these things might behave, how things that on a desktop window will be a floater that you can move around and um, interact with, how they could work on mobile. So I think that's kind of the state of our thinking, is that we would like to prioritize LL dialogues ahead of HUDs, and then probably split HUDs into a few different pieces of work and slide them in alongside all of the many, many other things that we also want to do and are critical and really necessary. We just, it's a balancing act. So yeah.
Yeah, well said. There is no shortage of things we could do or could work on. And it is, I mean, I guess I'm hoping that if there's one thing y'all come away with from these meetings, it's like we are doing our best to share, very transparently our roadmap and trying to stick to it as best we can, which is not to say we're not listening to these pieces of feedback and watching what's happening in the feedback portal too. Uh, Another one that makes the top 5 is inventory. I think we mentioned this a little bit last time we met as well. And I don't, Pluto, do you want to take this one? We've kicked around the possible baby steps towards inventory, and we've also been talking about full inventory.
Well, our our position on this has changed a few times. So stop me, anybody, if what I think the state of affairs is with respect to inventory is inaccurate. But I think what we want to do first is, again, most of these enormous problems that need to be solved, really, we can't afford to do them all at once. We'd spend the remainder of the year building HUDs or the remainder of the year building inventory if we did. So it wouldn't necessarily make the experience good just to have a fully functional inventory. So with inventory specifically, the thing that we think we could start on is making it possible to buy and receive delivery of things from the marketplace and interact with them, in all the various ways that you can receive an item. That would require a view of your inventory and probably enable certain inventory functions, like being able to look at subdirectories and possibly wear or add items to your outfit. But it may not involve all of the complexities that go with inventory. So that is something that was the last I heard on what we think we are going to try to do first with inventory, and then grow from there and improve it from there. But this is still work that in the best case scenario probably won't start for at least another month, because we have some requirements and some things already in flight. So once the dust settles, I think is when we're going to start figuring it out. Outfits are in the app Darkover. They are, if you go to the main menu and you choose avatar, you can see your outfits. You cannot yet edit them, edit the items in them, but we are working on it.
I have a question. Sorry, if it's okay.
Yeah, please.
Is there any status on actual phone users versus, say, tablet users? Because I don't use my phone like that. I installed on my tablet, and because I have a rather large tablet, it was a good experience once I got over the first sort of cache sort of situation. So I was just sort of wondering if you have feedback on how many people are actually accessing it via a phone or accessing it via a tablet, and whether or not you have plans to communicate that a tablet experience is a good experience and that maybe people should try that, not just phones.
Yeah, I think the information that we had last time we looked at tablets is that as a group, they tend to represent for us somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 10% of mobile users are on
Yeah.
tablet, which
It's a
is not
little more.
insignificant.
It's
Is it
15, I think.
is it
Yeah.
15? Okay. Well, my data is old because I think the last time I looked at it was in October. Um, but yes, there is room. A lot of the things that we're talking about, like HUDs and like inventory, which are extremely tricky to do on a mobile form factor, could be a lot easier on a tablet. So while that might be a smaller audience than the phone cohort, it still opens up an opportunity for us to provide a better experience, and it's just one of those things that we have to choose how to prioritize it. But I love the idea of making tablet specific improvements. Just give more time, more developers, and a green light.
Yeah, I mean, looking backwards, I would say in some ways we chose the hardest problems first, right? We chose the smallest form factor, and which is challenging to bring all the, robustness and richness of Second Life to, just from a dimension standpoint. And then we also, as you all know, focused very much so on avatars, though we're not quite done, and rendering the world. Like those are really, really challenging things to do. So yeah, I too would love to see what we could do with, with my iPad Pro someday.
Right, because I just don't use my phone at all except to make phone calls. So when you all went mobile, my first thought was tablet. Like I
Hmm.
just didn't even
Hmm.
think of telephone. And so yeah, I think that maybe communicating that it's not just a phone that you can use this for with its potential possibly. And Nara, put that in your next post. Thanks.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, just from a number standpoint, or we want to reach as many people as we can, and yeah, the numbers of tablets is fewer at the moment. I'm gonna bring us to one more ticket that came through, and I bring it up one because it's been upvoted, and two, it was mentioned even um, very recently, and that is the map. I think somebody in Discord mentioned it today. Pluto, I'm going to pass the mic to you. I know you have strong thoughts on this one too.
I don't really know what to say actually, so maybe you have more context, even though I might have more opinions. Let's hear from the person who knows what's going on.
Uh, I, I guess I'm not sure how to answer it either, other than yes, we have seen a request for the map, and uh, one is a challenge of real estate. If you're used to your desktop and a big monitor and being able to display the map, and while you're roaming around Second Life. The other is just making it easier to get where you want to go in Second Life. And our approach on mobile is what we've mentioned in making an address bar so you can get to
I
places more
can,
easily.
yeah, I can pipe up here a little bit. If people really do want mini maps, from
Well,
a
we
technical
should
perspective,
clarify that
yeah,
that we should clarify that there are two asks here, and they often in Canny seem to get combined into one idea that gets upvoted for what anyone's personal reasons. So maps maps are a little bit easier, but also a little harder to find a really great reason to make them a central part of the experience. Mini maps are harder and probably a better candidate, will be more useful. So I
actually,
hear,
oddly enough, mini maps are easier. It's the big map that's harder.
well, this is easier for the developer, harder for the designer. How about that?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I
You could.
definitely think a minimap would be useful, but where it goes and how it relates to the
Mhm.
other elements that are on the screen is not trivial. We do want to do it, and I think I would love to see minimap before we ever incorporate the map into the UX. And also for those who do want maps, this was done quietly, but maps.secondlife.com now is mobile responsive. So if you are on your phone and you do want to see the actual map, uh, for what it's worth, it's not as good as the map in the viewer, but it at least doesn't. It isn't totally broken on a mobile browser now, as of February.
Indeed. All right, let's take a peek at other items that maybe, I don't know if these are, let's see how this renders for you guys. This is also the feedback portal of trending issues. Let's see if there's anything worth taking a look at together here. The first one I see is my avatar is stretched like a sausage. I think we talked about this internally, and it is one of those tickets that we are asking the person who reported it to send us a report from the app so we can get more info and look into it. But we have quite a collection of the avatars that aren't quite rendering or aren't rendering quite correctly just yet. And Adam's got a nice list. I don't know if there's
I
more
think
to say right
it's
now.
probably at this point at least 100 avatars long.
Yeah.
Just though, even though that does sound like a lot, things like, for example, the feature we snuck into the last update, which was the bone attachment handling setting, that came from someone who reported an avatar not working over the Christmas holidays. Sorry if I can't remember who the username was. Maybe you can, Bridie. But it was someone saying my avatar was not working right, reporting a bug through. We picked it up, and I started digging into it. So even though there is a big list of avatars that are still not working right, we are working through that list.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. And there was somebody this week who reported they updated the shape a little bit and then it was rendering correctly. I didn't get the details on what they actually changed, but and sorry, I should have asked or should have paused to wait to see, are you all able to open the link I just posted in there? The feedback has the list by trending. I think that's a public link. Okay. So just cruising through these to see if there's anything else. There were some login issues. I think I responded to those. Yeah, most of these I think we have touched on. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. Well, maybe this is a good moment to just say if you are encountering issues that we haven't discussed or either that don't already exist and you can upvote, please file them. We are paying attention. And there's a separate board for feature requests, and we've been reviewing those weekly-ish as well. Yeah. All right, I think we got through the entire agenda in just under an hour, so I think we have time to do our field trip, if that sounds good to everybody. So Beanie, if you would paste in the destination, and we can go there on desktop or mobile, and we can try turning on streaming audio and enjoy some music together. Thanks everybody for joining us today. We super appreciate it. Hope to see you all again the next one. Take care.
Thank you
I'll see
so
you
much.
see you at the next location.